Welcome back to BCUZ. I'm here with Dave Brooks, Manager of Conservation Services at Spring Valley. Dave, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah,
So,
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, springtime is a really particularly busy time over at Spring Valley. So if you could you just give us a rundown of what's going on? What do you got coming up?
Sure. Well, the pace really picks up in terms of programming and events at Spring Valley in spring. So one of our busier seasons. So we kind of kick things off with our annual Sugar Bush Fair, which is one of our larger events of the year. So that's March 17th and 18th. And the big pancake breakfast, that's the big draw. And we teach people about maple syruping. So that's those two weekend days from 9 to noon, both days. And it's just, with almost all of these events, they're walk-in events, so you don't need to pre-register. Sugar Bush Fair, you can actually buy your breakfast tickets ahead of time. And it saves you a little bit of money.
Now, where do people purchase those tickets at?
They would get them at the Nature Center. Yeah, that's actually the only place you can buy them, so that's a good question. Yeah.
You mentioned maple syruping. Now, do you guys actually pool the maple syrup at the Sugar Bush Fair? Is it that time of the year?
Yes, yeah, we actually, weeks prior to the event, we have trees tapped. So we're collecting sap and boiling down for maple syrup. We don't make a large quantity. A lot of people want to know, is this what we're getting with our pancake breakfast? And actually it's not. It is real maple syrup. We just have to purchase it in larger quantities from Wisconsin or Michigan somewhere. So the stuff we make, because we don't make a great deal, it's done for demonstration, not to serve breakfast. So.
Got it. Okay.
So
what else you got coming up?
So then, once we get into April, our first event of that month would be our sunset fire and picnic on the prairie. I always have
it's a mouthful.
Yeah, I always have to figure out the order because we have so many. We have lots of campfire programs, but the sunset fire and picnic on the prairie has proven to be a very popular event because the focus is on our prairie burns. Something that staff and volunteers do every year to help manage our natural areas, and this is done as an event. So on Saturday, April 7th from 6 to 8:30, folks can come out and they can enjoy a picnic in back of the Nature Center. They can either purchase food that we have there, or they can bring their own, pack their own picnic supper. We'll have picnic tables, they can bring lawn chairs. We will present a short program on fire and why it's a valuable tool in managing our natural areas, and then also how it's done safely. Our conservation staff will explain all that. And then we actually take folks out and we will ignite a portion of the prairie just as it's getting a little dark, and they get to watch that. And it's always a big hit. People just love it. It's like I compare it to the fireworks show for 4th of July, only it's even cooler, I think. So
what happens if there's inclement weather with those prairie burns? You guys just reschedule them?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. That's the only event that we do reschedule. So that one, as I mentioned, is Saturday, April 7th. But if it's going to rain or be too windy that night, we will try again the following Saturday, which is the 14th.
So you do actually have to pay attention to the wind.
Yes.
I'm assuming that's for safety.
For safety, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's too windy, we can't burn, just for safety reasons.
Okay.
So that, by the way, is also another one that where it does pay to get your tickets ahead of time, because we have a limited amount of space in the backyard of the Nature Center where the picnic is held and the programming. So we limit that to the first 400 people who get tickets. And we will also have tickets available again at the Nature Center to pre-purchase, just to make sure you get your spot if that's something that folks are interested in. So,
okay. Perfect. Then what else is coming up?
And then moving on, actually I think it's almost every weekend in April we have something happening. So April 15th, Sunday, is our Springtime on the Farm, which is kind of like the season opener kickoff for the Heritage Farm. That's more of a seasonal operation for Spring Valley. So they open their gates and their buildings up, the barn and everything, on April 1st. April 15th, that Sunday from noon to 4, is Springtime on the Farm, and that's really a chance for families to come out. There's a ton of stuff for kids to get involved with there. We'll have they can help around the house. They get to help to do laundry the way it was done back then. They will be working in the garden, helping to plant. They can actually walk or watch the horses at work out in the fields, and then they will be able to help plant the oat fields. We'll give the kids all a little pail of oats, and they can just walk around and plant them in the field.
That's fun.
But we also there's games, there's activities, there's food and beverage. there's a ton of stuff for kids to do at that event. So.
And you purchase your tickets at the...
Yeah, that's when you just
the
pay.
event.
You just pay at the gate when you enter, and that's $4 a person or $16 per family.
And parking, I'm assuming, is at the farm, or is it...
Parking will be we're hoping to have people park right across Plum Grove Road from the Heritage Farm. There's a big field there. We'll have it mowed. We'll have people helping to direct traffic, and then we'll have police officers that'll help people get across Plum Grove Road. So.
Okay. Can people get updates on the website?
Yeah, they can get updates. If it's too wet, and we may have an alternate location for parking, but if people are wondering about that.
Okay.
And we do encourage people for these big events to check on parking availability, because obviously the Heritage Farm has a very small parking lot. The Nature Center has a larger lot, but that also tends to get very busy on weekends with families going to Bisons Bluff too. So.
Okay.
So. And then I guess the next thing I'll mention, going on to the following weekend, is Earth Day on April 22nd. So on Sunday, April 22nd, we're going to hold an Earth Day party, which is, again, a family and kid-focused event. We're going to have lots of neat things there for kids to do. They'll be able to work in the garden. They'll be able to plant a little wildflower seedling to take home. They'll be able to build a birdhouse. They'll be able to learn about composting. We're also in the process of building some large cages that are going to be used for rearing monarch butterflies, and those should be installed and ready to use, even though it's a little early for the butterflies on April 22nd. We'll be formally dedicating those at that event.
Great.
So again,
that sounds like
lots
fun.
of things.
Yeah.
And that's a free event too, by the way. So
okay.
So sponsored by the Spring Valley Nature Club. So
perfect. Now you mentioned Bisons Bluff before. Now I know we opened Bisons Bluff last summer, or last spring, as a matter of fact. What's the response been from the public so far?
Oh, it's been huge. Yeah. We were blown away by the response last year. We had to make a few quick adjustments in terms of staffing and parking and a variety of things, just because of the huge response. I mean, it's a great problem to have for a nature center to have too many people showing up. But we are making a few minor changes to help us better maintain the area and make sure that it's we're providing the best experience for all the people who want to come out and enjoy it. So given that, we are going to be keeping the area closed on Monday mornings until noon. That'll give our staff a chance after a busy weekend to get in there and really spruce things up, clean things up, make sure the sand is off the walks and the tables are wiped down and the garbage is out of there. And then every morning there'll also be, we won't open the gates to the play area until 9 a.m. In the past it's been, people can come there as early as 8 when the ground's open, but we want to give staff time to prep it for each day. And we will have additional staff there on the weekends when it's busiest, both to help with maintenance and also to provide people with other opportunities for things to do. What we found last year was especially parents of smaller kids tended to be, sometimes when it gets really busy, it can be kind of intimidating for those smaller kids, with all these big kids running around. So, those folks would tend to pull back and want to remove their kids from the play area. We're going to provide other things in the backyard of the Nature Center and on the trails around there, to meet the turtles or to learn about caterpillars or wildflowers or do a little craft activity.
So something for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. We just want to keep folks happy and give them something to do without overwhelming the play area.
Well, like you said, it sounds like a great problem to have.
Yes.
Final question, and then I'll let you go. One of my family's favorite activities is the wagon rides over at the farm. When do those start back up?
They will start up April 1st, which happens to be a Sunday this year. So noon to 2:30 on every weekend starting April 1st, folks can go for a wagon ride at the farm. So, and that's a first come, first served thing. So, as people show up, they would purchase their tickets in the visitor center at the farm,
okay.
and then hop on a wagon ride. So
can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Dave.
Sure,
Appreciate you coming in.
Sure, you're welcome.
Stick around. We'll be right back.